Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Oh, I see Miss Peggy. Peggy, how are you?
Hi.
Peggy and Tessie, how are you? Hello. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you for the invitation. Looking forward to
Yes,
it.
yes. So we're gonna go ahead and deep dive into it. It's 12:02. I want to make sure I value everyone's time, but it's gonna be very informational and very powerful. So hopefully you'll grab something from this today. So again, welcome everyone. My name is Will Casterlow. I'm the founder of Triad Cyber Solutions, and we are a managed security service provider, okay, which is just a fancy way of just saying we are a team of cybersecurity experts that help you to reduce their risk from becoming a risk or a hacker, okay? So today we're going to get right into it and talk about a topic that just determines the fate that your business is in the digital age: cybersecurity risk assessment, or CSRA. So with the rise of cyber threats, understanding and mitigating these risks is very crucial to businesses of all sizes. So like everyone else in cybersecurity, but that's our whole goal here. So with these lunch and learn episodes that we do, we want to educate you on every changing process that are not just only necessary, but imperative that you start implementing in your business if you do not want to get hacked. I also have my team members here on this episode. They'll be here to answer any questions for you that you may have in the chat. So today we have Chantel. She's our VP of Operations and Client Relations. We have Wasim. He's our Senior Technician. We have John. He's our Office Administrator. And we have Lawrence. He's our Account Specialist. Each of them have a unique skill that really helps us serve our clients efficiently, and they have quite an extensive knowledge on what we need to do here and how it is done effectively. So I appreciate them all being here, and I know they're all probably itching to get started, so just like I am. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so we're going to go over a few things here today. So by the end of this session, you're going to understand what a CSRA is, what is happening when you run a CSRA, and how you can use it to improve your overall cybersecurity. What threats a cyber CSRA can protect you from, why it's important to make sure you're working with a professional so that you can get the most out of your CSRA, and what you should be doing to get started. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put those in the chat throughout the session. Like I said, my team here will be keeping an eye on it to answer any questions for you. If you're looking for a little bit more detail, though, I will wait to the end where we'll have a little bit of a Q&A section. Okay? All right. So what is a CSRA? What is it? What does it do? CSRA does three things. Okay? It identifies the holes in your security that are putting you at risk from getting hacked. It analyzes those vulnerabilities, and it evaluates what areas you need to improve on, what the damage will be if you don't, and whether it's your bank account or your company's good name. The process and fundamental development strategies protect your assets because it's ensuring the effectiveness of your cybersecurity. If you're not running these assessments, then you're putting your business in the hands of hackers. You're going to be finding vulnerabilities. Well, I'll say they're going to be finding vulnerabilities, and they're going to sit there and watch you while you're waiting for a perfect time to strike. So there's an opportunity here to get the most out of you. They are going to shut you down. The motive changes. But a really common attack that we see here in ransomware is the hacker wants money. So they're going to watch the apps or files that you access the most. The ones that are the ones that you're going to target. Okay. We also have seen general chaos hackers. These are the guys that are launching large-scale attacks that reach into many different businesses at the same time. They kind of throw things at the wall until really something sticks, but they are very dangerous. So that's why you need to know your vulnerabilities before they find them. If you don't know them, then we can fix them. You can fix them. But you don't want to, if you don't fix them, your chances of getting hacked increases in a way you couldn't imagine. So small and medium-sized businesses are about 43% more likely to get hacked. They usually have smaller budgets. They don't have the capital or capability of the funds to support an IT team. Even if they have one, let alone have a security specialist, a cybersecurity is usually the last thing on their mind. It's just easier to target them. It's easy money. That's why we specialize in working with small to medium-sized businesses. Very early on, we noticed that these are the types of businesses owners with the most risk and the least access to help. It's not fair that only large corporations get to have a library of resources and professionals at their disposal. So simply because they have money, everyone needs cybersecurity. Everyone has a right to know how to protect themselves. Woo! That is just me getting fired up. Now, I'll try to stay on topic here though, because I'm so excited. When I talk about cybersecurity, I get goosebumps. I just can't sleep at night. I'm always constantly looking and lurking to try to find out what else can I tell the world to try to stay safe. I like helping people. So this is what we're doing. All right, anyways. So let's talk about the CSRA and what it looks like. So firstly, it finds out what you have on board. Who is in your house, what data, what hardware, what software, what infrastructure, and human resources are we working with, okay? That's what it's looking for. That's what it's doing. So we start looking at threats and vulnerabilities. What is going to be the most likely attack? It could be malware, it could be a phishing attack, or it could be your employees. CSRAs even identify if an environmental disaster could put your data at risk. What if there's a flood and you lose all of your computers? Do you have a system that is automatically backing those files? Once we know how these threats will exploit your vulnerabilities, we need to understand what the impact is going to be. That's where those potentially financial losses, reputational damages, legal consequences, operational disruption, it's going to analyze. It's going to be all analyzed. So risk evaluation and mitigation is where we evaluate two things. One, we decide how likely is it for each of those threats to take action. Each. This can be a great way to identify where you need to start. Cybersecurity is a complex, time-consuming process, implementation, but you'll feel 10 times better if you can get a game plan to tackle it. Number two, that's when we mitigate. Are you going to be adopting new security technologies? Are you going to improve your security policies and procedures? Are you going to start training your employees on cybersecurity? CSRAs answer all of these questions and document all these vulnerabilities so that you and your partners, your stakeholders can all work together with experts like us to start reducing your risk of getting hacked and getting your business shut down. Here's a big question. I get this question to me a lot when I reach and I see other people. What they say, well, Will, if I have antivirus software, or if I have an IT team, why do I need to do a CSRA? Wouldn't my antivirus just let me know when I've been hacked? Or wouldn't my IT team be able to just handle it? Well, in 2024, the simple answer is no. Antivirus software stopped cutting it back in 2019. Hackers figure out that they figured out a way that as almost as quickly as it came on the scene. Your IT team was there, right, when it started, and they're skilled, but they usually only focus on what we prefer as the break fix services, something that isn't working. It's called IT. So it used to be that you can get these certifications, maybe get your information technology degree, and then even if you had everything that you needed to provide a full stack of services as a technician. That's how it used to be. In recent years, even the IT community has acknowledged that cybersecurity is so difficult and so complex that it needs to be specialized. It's like when you go to your family doctor for high blood pressure. But then they realize, okay, you're going to a kidney doctor or a heart doctor. We actually work alongside of a lot of general IT techs with our consulting services, and we love them. We do an excellent job. It's just that they aren't trained in cybersecurity. So they know the basics, which is fine. We all know the basics, but that's just not enough to entrust them with setting up your full-scale data defense system. And especially that's required in a new landscape of threats that we have today. So, and those threats are always evolving. Hackers becoming more sophisticated every day. Performing CSRAs monthly is crucial because cyber threats evolve so rapidly. And what may be secure today could be vulnerable tomorrow. So regular assessments help you stay ahead of the threats and then protect your business from potential disasters. Now, going back to working with general IT techs, I've met a few who actually don't even know what CSRA is. There are a few more who know what it is, but they're running it maybe every 6 months or maybe every year. Industry standard is every 3 months, so every quarter. We actually run them every month. It's just because it's the true way to find out what makes sense about our defenses or your defenses are working through a disaster recovery plan, and it's 2 to 3 steps ahead of the hackers. Disaster recovery plans are not something we'll just really deep and dive into this session, but they are the next step after running a CSRA. So every time you run one, you need to be adding a new process or protective measure to your disaster recovery plan. But don't take my word for it. The Identity Theft Resource Center, which is the ITRC, is an amazing nonprofit organization that consistently compiles reports about threats and hackers. This data here that I'm showing here is from one of their most recent data breach analysis reports. I have pulled this up for you from a few industries that they cover. And I love their reports. Actually, Chantel, could you maybe please drop a link to the full report in the chat in case some people here want to look at it, a full of it, want to look at it full. Here's the link.
Sounds good.
Great, thank you. All right, definitely check that out. But let's talk about it here. You can see here that there are a few industries who have wised up about putting more protections in place even over the last 3 years. The financial, the healthcare, the professional services industries really got burnt. They got burned with a lot of cyber attacks that reached its peak in 2021. But after those cybersecurity measures were implemented, you can see the compromises decreased significantly in 2022 and 2023. But then we have the ones who we see a bit fluctuation. Those nonprofit and retail industries, they fluctuate in the amount of compromises they experience and the victims who were affected. A lot of the security professionals now know that these particular industries often fail to report their breaches accurately because they lack the education on proper cybersecurity practices. So in my experience, I've also encountered a lot of business owners and nonprofit founders that almost insist that they don't need the protections as an accountant or as a doctor's office or a lawyer. And I just tell them, look, if you're handling your internal confidential data, example, accounting, your employment records, etc., then you do need the same protections. And if you're handling that externally, confidential data of the people that you serve, i.e. credit card information, social security numbers, addresses, then you do need the same protection. Otherwise, you're going to be baiting the hacker and hoping that they don't bite it. Okay? So one last thing I really found interesting about this report is where there are a lot of compromises in 1 year, but the victims who are affected, the number decreases. So you can see that there are the financial services industry. The IRS really started cracking down on accountants and CPAs over the past few years, even going as far as revoking what is called their P10 number, which allows an accounting firm to operate legally here in the United States, and it's extremely difficult to regain once you've lost it. So despite there being a new threat landscape every year, the process that the financial service industry has been required to implement actively protecting them from the known threats while still giving them the edge against the threats no one even knows about yet. And I mean it. So it just goes to show you the investment in your cybersecurity is worth it. You can't pretend that this isn't just an issue, that they exist. You need to have the humility to admit your refusal to protect your company from hackers is a refusal of your responsibility as a business owner. The threat is real. It's real. And you need to get real about this and how you're going to go about defending your clients, your staff, and even your livelihood. I'm going to give you one quick example. We picked up a new client 6 months ago out of Tennessee. Chattanooga, Tennessee. She was an accounting firm. She had some viruses. She got hit with a virus. The IRS actually revoked her P10 number because one of her business clients reported her that business information was compromised. They started receiving phishing emails. They started seeing solicitation emails and notices, but then they started finding some things about that business. So evidently the business that got hit, they had some cybersecurity protocols and things in place. Well, their system found the leak, which came from her CPA firm, and then they reported it. But because she didn't have an IT person, she didn't, and at the end, once I found out, I got a referral. That's what it was. It was a referral of how I found this person. But once I get there and I look at it, she had McAfee as antivirus software. She had a server. She was using QuickBooks, and she's using QuickBooks, Sage, and Drake software. And it was all on the server. The server was, let's see, it was 2003. Server 2003, which I don't even know how it was running QuickBooks, to be honest. I don't even know how it was running Drake. I know Drake applications is more of a mapping scenario, and it probably work automatically. But she was working on an older version of QuickBooks, working with Drake, older version of software. She had Windows 7 as the PC, as the operating system on her computers, and she had 3 workers. She said she didn't need it. She never had anything. She's been only in the office half the year. That's it. Well, as a result, I would say after gutting her whole situation, I told her she had to get new workstation, new computers, totally remove the server, put into a cloud environment, redid all of that. She was still down for about 2 weeks. So I would say after about a $17,000 cost or more, with the cost of repairing everything and doing everything, getting back up and running, then the IRS requested her to have what is called a WISP report. We created a WISP report for her, and that's what saved her and got her business back up in operation. Now, this happened last year in September. Many of you may or may not know, September is the month where people do extensions. They file their extensions from their taxes. She was not allowed to do her client's taxes. The IRS shut her down. The IRS, once I got everything done, we showed that we were in compliance, everything was good. She was back up and operational in November, right before Thanksgiving. So just to show you how the P10 number is very valuable and how these numbers correlate with each other, her dollar amount, but then, and then also the company that found her out, they did sue her. She did not have cybersecurity insurance, so she had to pay out of pocket. I don't know what the schematics were. I just left that out of there, but now I just went forward. We put a plan in place for her. But just to kind of show you a little bit about how this affects people and how it affects accountants. But moving on. So because of these consequences were devastating from a financial losses and damaging a reputation, the impact of a cyber attack can be felt long after the cyber attack occurred. The question is always, are you prepared to face the impending doom? Because the reality of it all is that you will get hacked. I love to say that, could you put X, Y, Z in place and never have to worry about getting hacked ever again? But that's just not the case. So think about it hard. You work every day. Think about the time and effort that you have to put into your business to make money. From hackers, your data is their product. They have nothing better to do because of your data breach. Their paycheck, and they have more than enough time to do that. It sounds discouraging. And I hear a lot of people who are like, well, if cybersecurity isn't 100% hack-proof, why would I need to waste my time? Why do I need to pay for it? Why do I even need this? Why do I just take the chance and just risk it? Well, I understand that. I'm not going to mess with you and tell you that you won't have to spend a hand here or there or a leg there. When you start setting up your cybersecurity defenses, the initial cost is going to be daunting. But if you get hacked, it's going to be more likely and more going to be the shut down situation. So, oh no, I can't get to my files. Well, wait a few days for the breach to get cleaned up, and then you can get back to business. No, the average data breach takes about 295 days to resolve on average. Do you have enough money to be out of business for a year and come back absolutely no damage to your bank account or your reputation? Drop it in the chat. Who can be out of business for almost an entire year and be confident that their business can stay open? I know I can. Absolutely. So, I mean, just look at this. The average total cost of a data breach is about $4.45 million. That cost isn't just what the hacker can take from your business, but it is also including the cost of all those resources that you're going to need to address and mitigate these incidents. This second stat has to do with what's called zero trust. If you were in our last webinar, you'll probably remember that zero trust policy is where all of the access requests to access and view certain data is secured, and it must be verified and recorded. If you don't have a zero trust policy as one of your defenses, you are looking at a bigger average cost of about $5 million. Those who do have this policy in place automatically experience a lower average cost of about $3.28 million. So you can't acknowledge that difference in a cost. And that's just one security protocol, just one. This last one here focuses on employee training. And all of our CSRAs that I have run, the lack of training provided to employees is the highest risk to any company. And this is 33% now. This 33% number here, it says remote workers. But that doesn't only mean the people you have working for you that don't come to your office every day. The usual culprit, actually business owners who brings their laptop, who work from home, who work on their phone, okay? Connected to unsecure Wi-Fi networks at home. I'm a business owner. I know that when that doesn't stop, when I go to the office, when the office hours are over, then you're doing, what are you doing, right? You're not protecting your business. Another culprit is your employees' phones. It is very common for business owners and their employees to communicate about company data using their personal phone. They can access OneDrive, Google Drive. They could be texting, could be emailing. Your staff brings these phones home and one of them has a hacker on their home network. Boom, gotcha. That's what happens. That's a breach. They've handed everything over. They handed everything over to the hacker, just like that. So these CSRAs are going to be able to tell you if any of these things are a problem in your digital network. And the more you run them, the more accurate and up-to-date information you'll be able to have to work. And the more of the advantage you have over the hacker. Even if you have an IT team, partner with an MSP, an MSSP like us, can provide additional expertise and resources to ensure that your cybersecurity risk assessment is thorough and effective. MSSPs have the experience and knowledge to identify and mitigate risk your internal team may overlook. So like I said, I respect your general IT technicians. And I mean, before I specialized this, I was doing a lot of general IT work. It's hard work and it is necessary. It's a necessary service that business owners should utilize. So with that knowledge of both industries, I know that there is just too much information for a single IT person or IT team to both implement and manage. There's not enough hours in a day, I promise you. So would you want to overload your current IT support, whether it's a 1-person, 2 or 3-person team, and have some measures really slip through the cracks? Or do you want to bring in a specialist that can help them and make sure that everything is done correctly, effectively, and efficiently? So what do we do now? Well, what are you going to do after we get off this call? Well, hopefully you're going to enjoy your lunch while you're enjoying your lunch, right? But we're also going to take your security and put it in your hands. You're going to be proactive about protecting your business. And all of it is just a meeting. We are actually opening up our scheduling to include discovery calls. In these discovery calls, I get to know you and you get to know me. We get to talk about where your security stands right now. From there, we get your CSRA scheduled, and we start making a plan to bolster your cybersecurity. I'm actually going to have Chantel drop that schedule link in the chat, but we will also have a QR code here and this next slide that you can scan on your phone if that's easier for you. However, you do it, please don't wait until it's too late. You have worked too hard and given too much to make sure that your business is successful. And I know that you didn't do all of this just to let the hackers pull the rug from underneath you and take everything you have. So, and here's the QR code for those of you hoping to scan it. If you're on your phone, Chantel has dropped the scheduling link in the chat as well. Don't risk the security of your business. Take action today. Schedule a discovery call with us. It's usually not something we offer for free, but we have opened it up for this lunch and learn session as a token of our appreciation for you taking the time out today to educate yourself. So your business's future depends on it, okay? So I mean free to get started today with the discovery call and maybe 30 minutes of your time versus losing everything to a hacker and having to pay to get it fixed. That's a no-brainer to me. That's really a no-brainer to me. All right, I'd like to open up the chat for a few questions here. If there's anything that we went over today that you had a pressing question about, now is the time to shine. So pull up this chat here and let's see. Give a couple minutes here. All right, well, right now, no questions.
Well, actually, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I had a question.
Yes.
So we have also talked in this series about the external security scan, right? And that's a great tool to get started as well. How does that differ, the external security scan and this CSRA? How does that differ? Why, why should we go CSRA versus the external scan?
Well, the external scan is going to be more of an outside layer, right? So it's going to be more of an outside skim layer of your domain, of your business domain, to kind of give us a couple of little pieces about your business. The full CSRA is going to give us the full blown. The reason why you want to just go ahead and skip and don't worry about the external. The external, yes, that's good to just, hey, you want to see what it looks like just temporarily, that's good. But the full-blown CSRA, this is where your business lies. Okay? So if you're like me, I want to protect my business. It's very important to go ahead and know where you are today. I just mentioned it on the previous slide or just here 5 minutes ago. We can get off this call and you do nothing, right? Or something can you probably already know something is going on in your network right now. Your internet's slow, your PC's running slow. You see sometimes you can't print, your printers are jumping offline. You already know some things are happening. So why not let's just go ahead and let's get this discovery call. Let's go ahead and talk about what you have. Let's get to know each other and let's get the CSRA. For me, I want to go ahead and rectify the issue now, not later. If I procrastinate, the longer I procrastinate, the higher my chances are of something happening literally when I blink my eye. So I just mentioned to you and gave you an example of a CPA who got shut down. The IRS shut her down. So when she had clients to do work, to do an amended return by a deadline in September or October, She could not fulfill that. So now she lost business. Those clients had to revert to someone else. So she lost business and she was up by Thanksgiving. So you're looking at a 2.5 month because she procrastinated. Let's not follow those same processes. So the full-blown cybersecurity risk assessment is where you need to be. That's what I recommend. That's a no-brainer. Don't think twice about it. It's just, I need to get this done. Because, and I shared this, we don't know what's going on in our network, right? The way the hackers work, they're internally in our computers, in our network. Can you see what's going on in your PC right now? As you're on this call, you're on this session, can you see what's going on in your PC right now? If you can answer that question yes, then you don't need a cybersecurity risk assessment. But if you honestly say no, you need a cybersecurity risk assessment.
Gotcha. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, great. Anybody have any more questions? I know sometimes there are no questions, but it doesn't mean that everyone understands. Okay. If you do have questions, but you just aren't comfortable posting them here, or you want a more in-depth understanding of what a CSRA is, I would just go ahead and schedule that discovery call with us. Fill out the form, and we'll answer anything and everything there. Okay? All right. Well, I want to thank everyone again who took the time out to come and share and join us today. Again, I've got goosebumps. I'm sorry. I got a little itchy over here, but I'm so excited about talking about how to secure people, how to help secure your business. So we want to be able to be an educated resource for you. Okay. So today we spent some time. I appreciate you spending time with your lunch with me and my team. Don't drop the ball, people. Please do not drop the ball. Schedule that discovery call. The QR code is here again in the bottom left-hand corner. And those of you who want to schedule the scan, I'll have Chantel also drop the link in the chat so that everyone can have a chance to click on it. You can click on it. You can also go ahead and put your business, give us a little bit of information, and we can schedule, and you can get a little small external scan of your network right now, okay? So our information is also on the screen here, so please, please feel free to reach out to us via phone, email, or any of our social media platforms. Otherwise, I will let you go, but please enjoy your lunch and the rest of your day. But goodbye to everyone, and I appreciate everyone. And look, stay tuned. Next month, we'll have the next series number 4, how we'll talk about other processes. So stay tuned for those to be shown ahead of time. You all have a great day. Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Thank you.
All righty.